Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's your girl Absolute ShayShay here with another story. I told you guys I would be coming with the Vegas story. Here it is. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're already part of the family, nice to see you again. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Like, really, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And turn on your notification so you never miss on any of my stories. So, let's hop right in. Like, all right, the next day, woke up again. We went, this was Saturday. We went to we went to Caesar's Palace. So yeah, we had made it to Caesar's Palace for their I don't remember what their food package thing cost. I'll insert the name here. And so we went in, and you're looking at everything. It was like, did I die and go to heaven? Like, but that bill before you walk in, literally for the two of us, and it's the weekend, so they charge. It came out, I believe, when the man told us, was $150. It was a buffet style, but it was 50, I believe. I'll insert the price. And literally, my husband, the minute the man said that, my husband turned and looked at me like,
this food better be off the chain. Like, you got me paying for this?
Honestly, I'm like, just pay the man, because now we can't turn back around. Like, after the video, it was like, you can't do that, turn around, walk of shame, because we got people behind us. And so I'm like, just pay the man. Just pay the man. And so my husband's like, oh, I would have turned right around and walked away. And I'm like, but the minute you walked in, I'm like, you can tell why you paid that money for. It was like, they started off with, the seafood. And again, I've never eaten except for fish, like with scales, to be exact, so people know. Our religion, we're not allowed to eat seafood without scales. Not that we're eating scale seafood. No. The fish has to have scales, and then before you cook it, you take off the scales and then you cook it. So you guys are thinking that your girl's sitting here eating fish with scales. No. So yes, so we don't eat lobster, crabs, scallops, shrimps, none of those. So at the beginning of the buffet line, where we're coming in, at the beginning of the buffet line, there's, the seafood area, and then you kind of work into the soups, and then the meats, and then it kind of goes different, what is that thing called? Like international, like Asian, Italian, and all that stuff. So you have an array of variety, and in the middle of the area, there's this big dessert buffet. Like, you name it, you'll find it. They have it. It was like a big round table. You can't miss it. So yeah, and we walked in, we sat down, and I'm looking at him like, all right, who's going first? And my husband was like, I don't know where to start. And keep in mind, my husband, I was raised as a Seventh-day Adventist. So, as I said, we don't eat seafood, the crabs and the shrimps and all that stuff. So, but my husband is not. He's raised Christian, but not in the same faith as I am. So he's had all those stuff, and he was like, I don't know where to start. So I'm like, all right, so he started on the seafood, and your girl's kind of like walking around and trying to see where, picking up little stuffs, trying out new things. And he was like, he comes at me and he hands me, you know, crab leg. I'm like, no. And he's like, you might as well at least try it one time. And I'm like, no. So if God shows up today, I'm going to hell. Literally. No. But I was like, I'm not trying it. But I'm telling you, this was, like, for me, it was epic. It was over the top. And so, you know, we finished, and my husband's like, do we have to go? I'm like, no, but I'm like, it's proper etiquette for you. You know, once you finish, you get up, you leave, so that another person can come. And he's like, I don't want to go. And I'm like, let's go. We got a day planned, and we got to keep moving. So yeah, and so we kind of like, all right, we ended up leaving, walked around Caesar's Palace a little bit, and, you know, looked at different, what it had to offer. And then we kind of mingled over to the Bellagio and walked in there, looked at all the different stuff. And as we walked along, we ended up in the Louis Vuitton store and a bunch of different stores. And so we were like, we're going places, we're walking, we're just, you know. And during the time, we kind of are heading kind of backwards, back to the hotel. And we happened to catch the fountain show, and it was beautiful. I'm like, it's on beat, it's on point. If you ever get a chance to, when you guys, like, if you ever go down to Vegas and you ever get a chance to see it, please see it. And it's free. So, and we got there, and, you know, we watched it, and it was like literally about, they do it every 30 minutes and every hour. So it was gorgeous. We stopped, watched it. I tried catching pictures. It was wonderful. And so, you know, and we also had a dinner date. So yes, again, as I said, I tried to plan everything, and we were going to have a dinner in the dark. That's what it was called. This one was called, I remember. And so we went. It was a little bit off the strip. We went, got there, we signed the consent, and literally, you are eating in the dark. You don't. It's pitch black. Literally, pitch black. We were escorted by one of the waiters to our seat, and if you ever get a chance to have this experience, do it. It is phenomenal. We were escorted by our waiters to our seats, sat down, and we wait, like, they would bring up, they said, you know, don't get up because you can't see nothing. When I tell you, it is pitch black. You hear people talking, like, you basically have to use all your other senses, and you can't, you obviously you can't see. So we sat down, and they brought us our appetizers, and it was great. And there's some stuff that, you know, like, if I had known what I was eating, I would have been like, oh, okay, you know, this was good. But, like, again, they had gave me some zucchini noodles. That was one of them, zucchini noodles, and it was cold. And literally, you know, they kind of tell you, you know, where all your utensils are placed, so you know, and, you know, where your drink is placed, so you're not knocking stuff over. And if you need to, even if you do need to get up, you know, they say, please stay in your seat and kind of just wave. They will see you. And I remember sitting there, I'm talking to my husband, I'm like, he's like, oh, I can see. And I'm like, see what? Please tell me, what can you see? Because it's pitch black. Like, I'm like, if they had any little monitors, you know, like the things that has a little blinking red light that kind of show you where the exits are. You didn't even see those. So I'm telling you, it was pitch black. And he's like, you know, messing with me. He's like, I see you. And I'm like, yeah, sure, you see me. I was like, this is the same way I can see you too. And so except for the zucchini noodles, that was cold, that I was like, no, I wasn't having that. That was kind of, it was off-putting to me, because again, I didn't know what I was eating. And when they, afterwards, when you come out, they show you the menu of what you ate. And you're sitting there looking at the list and you're going, that was what it was? Oh my bad. I'm like, I thought my palate was good. Apparently I can't pick up nothing. And there was some stuff that was amazing. Like, you know, we had this marinara with, I think it was like a mac ball, like a macaroni and cheese ball. That it was, yes, there was some of the stuff that it was amazing. I loved it. It was a great experience. Again, if I ever have the opportunity to do that again, I will. You know, it was great. And so we kind of came from that, you know, and so we ended up, we had another place we were supposed to go that night, and your girl could not find the place. I put it in Google search. I went, we drove to where the location was, and it couldn't be found. It was nowhere to be found. And no, I'm not telling you what it's called, because it's Vegas. What happens in Vegas, that one will definitely stay in Vegas. And so we didn't end up going there. And so we kind of drove back to the hotel, went there, and we slept the mess of the day we did away. So now it's the day of my husband's birthday, and you know, I had a lot of things planned out, and I said, you know what, whatever. We went on zip lining. Yes, your girl was zip lining. And I'm the type of person, I'm like, my feet has to be on the ground. And so they, where we went zip lining. We took the Ferris wheel, and we did the Ferris wheel first, and then we went zip lining. And they give you, at the zip lining place, you know, they give you the option to do the Superman or to sit down and ride the zip line. And my husband was like, oh, I want to do the Superman. I'm like, good luck. I'm not doing it. You know, I already like my feet to be on the floor, and the fact that I'm dangling up in the air. So like, I'm gonna sit. And they gave you, it was 3 options. You can sit facing forward, Superman, while you laying on your belly and you go, or you do it backwards. Either one of those backwards, so you're facing where you came from. And I'm like, give me the basic. I'm gonna sit and face forward. You know, I was like, we should do, you know, the Superman facing back. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. If I'm going to go to my dad, I need to see what is happening, you know. So yeah, and so he ended up doing the Superman, and I was like, your girl sat down, and you know, they hook us up, all that stuff, and we had a blast. And so we took the zip line, and we got to the thing, and I'm like, that's jolted us so much. I was like, oh my gosh. And they're like, my husband's like, let's do it again. I'm like, no, we're not doing this again. Like, we're not doing this again. I'm like, if you want to do it again, here, go ahead, do it. And so he was like, doing it over and over and over, and I'm like, I wait for you on the floor, you know, where my feet can touch the ground. So yes, your girl was like, I'm not doing that. It was wonderful. It was a great experience. I loved it. But I was not doing it again. And so, you know, we continued down the strip, and, you know, we went into different stores, looked at stuff. We bought some souvenirs. And so we ended up, you know, most of our time, I almost forgot. Your girl got juked on the strip. Yes. And the sad part about it is, my husband was there. Like, he literally watched me end up having to hand this man, like, I tried gambling, and this is the reason why I said I would never ever gamble, because I don't like losing money. I don't like losing money. That's my problem. I'm like, I cannot lose money, like, for no apparent reason. Like, no. And I'm like, we're walking back to, I believe we were parked, we actually drove, every increment we did, we walked to that place, and we're like, okay, you know, whatnot. We had, the hotels on the strip, there's some of them that are partnered. So if you park your car, if you're at one of their partnered hotels, then you can park your car there for free. So every increment place we would go, you know, wherever we stopped at, we would kind of figure out what's the next partner hotel so we can park our car. Because yes, the strip is long, very long. And so we ended up parked at the Bellagio, and this guy and two of his hype friends. They were both girls, you know, they were hyping, like, you know, they were like, oh my God, we got this, we can make it, we can win, and all that stuff. And my husband was ahead of me. So he walked ahead of me, and he's watching them and watching, you know, I believe it was what is that game called? Like when they have the ball under the cup and you have to pick which cup has the ball. Yes. So I'm like, all right, I finally get up there, and it was a bridge that crossed from where Caesar's Palace is, and you know, it's like an overpass to go into the Bellagio. We got there, and he's in the corner, he's watching this, and he's apparently picking up on what's going on. And I'm like, I would come in and I'm like, all right, let me see how this thing is. And one of the girls come up to me, and she's hyping me up. She's like, yeah, you know, you can win like $200 and $300 and whatnot. All you gotta do is just, you know, double his amount. And I'm like, okay, let me watch this first. So I'm watching him, and he's doing his thing. He's like, you know, and one of the girls, there's two of them. The one that was talking to me, and the other one was acting as if, you know, she's playing along with him, like she's one of those, like us, you know, a tourist. And she's, you know, betting, and she's winning and all that stuff. And I'm like watching this. And so he does this one trick, and I honestly, the love of God, I see where the ball is. And so the one girl that was hyping me up was like, which cup do you think it is? Which cup do you think it is? And I'm like, that one, you know. And so he's like, all right, you know, bet your money. And I'm like, he's like, all right, you know, I'm betting you $200. And I'm like, okay. Literally, your girl is 100% sure the ball is under the one she picked. 100% sure. And so, I go and I'm like, I'm not gonna spend $200 on this. I'm not spending $200 on this. So I'm like, I only got $100. And, you know, he's like, oh, it's 200. It's 200. I'm like, and then I'm sorry, I'm not putting $200. And he's like, all right, fine. Come with your 200. Come with your 100. And so I pull out my 100, and I gave the man mistake number 5 or whatever. It was the epic mistake of my life. Like, honestly, the biggest mistake. I should have not gave this man my $100. I was upset. I was fuming. I got into the car. I was upset. Because when he pulled the cup up, the ball was gone. Like, nowhere to be seen. And so it was me and this other gentleman that had came along, and he had seen this. And so there was another cup that was there. And he's like, you know, all right, then it has to be this one. Pull that cup up, and I guess he ended up giving it 200 or whatnot. And he was like, you know, he was sure, just as I was sure. And pull that cup up too. The ball was not on any of the cups. You know, apparently during his whole thingy, the ball miraculously, mysteriously disappeared. So yes. And I literally, the minute after the man picked up the other cup and it was not there, I walked away. I walked away super fast because now I was upset because I done gave this man my $100. You know, he was asking for $2 and I gave him my $100. I was livid. I was upset. I was livid. And my husband is sitting there like, why would you give this man your $100? And I'm like, it was bulletproof. For me, it was bulletproof. Like, I was gonna come out with, you know, $200, you know. And that wasn't the case. My husband was like, that's the reason why I didn't, like, I was looking at it. I'm like, I tried to send you some, you know, signals not to do it. I'm like, you think you better stand, you better come up to me and tell me this. Don't stand off in the corner somewhere and tell me, you know, you're sending me notifications, you know, hand signing me. No, I'm not gonna see you. I was focused. I wanted to make sure that I was gonna get my $200, you know, because if he was gonna double what I put, you know, if I put 100, he's gonna put 100. I'm coming out with $200. So, well, actually, an extra 100 back because I put 100 out. And so he was like, I was trying to tell you. And I'm like, that don't make no difference. I didn't see you. So I'm in the car, I'm upset, I'm fuming, and my husband's like, well, at least you learned. And literally, I turned around, I wanted to pop this man so badly. I wanted to just smack him. And, you know, I made it to the hotel room, and I was like, I'm still upset. You know, took a shower, I'm upset. You know, don't talk to me. You know, and in our room, we ended up, like, we had the double beds, the double queen beds. And so we had, you know, made this we pushed both the beds together to make like this super king size bed. And so I'm like, can you push my bed back? And he's like, so you seriously this mad? I'm like, yes. You let me lose $100. And I was like, just push my bed back. I'm not sleeping in the same bed with you. Push my bed back. And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. So yes, I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson very, very much. And that is, yes, we ended up going back to the hotel. Before, you know, all this, we ended up going down to Hell's Kitchen. I had made a reservation for him for his birthday because I was like, you know, why not? You know, I might not ever be able to go to the Hell's Kitchen that be on, you know, TV, but this is close enough, just without Gordon Ramsay there. And so we got ready, went to a Hell's Kitchen, and the food was great. Everything was great. It's just the wait time. I'm like, the wait time was long, like very, very long. You know, at all his other restaurants, we went to the Ramsay's Burger. It was great. You know, I loved the food there. It was just at Hell's Kitchen that, like, you had to wait in a waiting room, the lobby, and when you finally go and you sit down, you order, and there's that wait. And we were hungry. Like, literally, we kind of didn't eat that much because we know that, you know, I kind of figured, I'm like, we're going to spend, you know, some money, especially the fact that we had breakfast the other day at, you know, for $100 and something. So I was like, all right, you know, we're going to be dishing out some money here. And the food, again, as I said, was phenomenal. It was just the time, the wait time that was just long. And so my husband at that point, he was like, here we go. And I'm like, then we got our food. And so he ate it. He ended up eating our side. The side was for both of us. He ate it all by himself. And he was like, well, they brought it with my dish. I'm like, no, the guy had 2 hands. He just brought it out. It's like how you just go eat both of our sides. So yes, we ended up, it was all right. You know, we had a blast there. And so I'll also insert clips of the trip. And again, thank you for watching. This was my story on going to Vegas. It was wonderful. We loved it. Wish we'll try again to go to Vegas another time, hopefully maybe with the family. But yes, it was a wonderful trip. So yeah, and that's my story of my trip to Vegas. I've learned my lesson. Next time I'm playing safe. Next time I'm playing it safe. I had a blast and it was great. We would love to do it again. But have you not subscribed at this point? This is the end of... Did you forget again? Did you forget again? Yes. Go on. Hit that subscribe button. Yes, there you go. Good job. So yes, I'll see you in the next one. So again, leave me a comment down below what you think.